So now I'm on the other side of our island and it took 2 years to come over here because there's only one dirt road, which even with my Jeep last time I didn't make it. I actually had to pull out 2 people out of the dirt and imagine this is only 20 kilometers from the other side, and the Brazilians, they leave things, they leave nature, even so it would be easy to make a better road. But so you are here on the other side of this island, and it looks like it's another uninhabited part of the world. Imagine 20 kilometers away from where we live, and so it feels like, oh, finally there is freedom, finally there is some nature. But it shows you it's all relative. When you are in one of the nicest places of the world, like where we live, even there, repetition takes over your life. You see the same things again and again, and you are not satisfied anymore. And deep down, stagnation becomes the major part of your life. And this is what people don't understand when they build their houses. They build their houses as beautiful as they can. They build it. Here comes the the delivery service. See? So they build their house as beautiful and as expensive as they can afford, to think that when they really make it beautiful, they will be really happy. And in fact, everything, even the most beautiful houses, they make you tired after some time, simply because there is no change, there's no movement. And once we understand this, we would never have the idea that we buy a vacation home. So for what purpose? You can always come back to the same vacation home. You can always first have to clean up all the dust that has accumulated since you were here half a year ago. But we don't understand this. We think eventually, if we have really a beautiful place, if we really make it perfect, then there will be happiness. But happiness comes only from being alive. And what means to be alive? It means constant change. Constant change. And of course, we are provided by constant change from every side. From money side, from political sides, from relationship sides. But all in us tries to resist it, tries to either not realize it or go back to our old ways. And this is the reason, for me, that's the reason why we have to get sick. If we try to avoid change and only look forward to having a perfect paradise place. That's the whole idea about this perfect paradise idea about enlightenment. It's all wrong. It's all never happened. That you come to a place where you're in perfect bliss. There's no fear anymore. There's only happiness. There's only contentment. That's what the Indian gurus say is total bliss. But you have had, like me, to live in India for 5 years. You know, India, once they can sleep a lot, once they can eat a lot, it's bliss for them. So all the Indian gurus that were considered to be enlightened, they had a good life, and they had a calm life, and they had followers that confirmed that they were different, so their ego was boosted as well. And that's all what it was, but it was not really life. Life means change and being open for new things. And that's what you don't see in India at all. Once they have established a pattern, they keep it going for thousands of years. Once they found the kind of food that they like, it will be done the same way for generations. Once they find the way they like to dress, like this is sari, and it's good, it's practical, really it's practical, and it's beautiful. It will not be changed. So this is really the reason why Westerners are attracted to India, because it's not about change, it's about keeping everything the same. But really the West has so much to offer, because change is part of our culture, but the only thing that's missing is that we have to value it, that we have to understand that this is the basis not only of making money and being successful, but also about having a happy and a healthy life. And so, you see, it's so clear here in a wonderful place. I know even this most wonderful place, this most wonderful island would get boring after some time. So I'm moving, I'm on the move. Like next Sunday we fly to Dubai, and from Dubai to Melbourne it's a 30-hour flight, and then be 3 months in Asia. And I know this life, if it has purpose, not just traveling, but if it has purpose, teaching people, learning more, and being able to take more of this change, then this is what I know I will have to teach, and I want to teach for the rest of my life. It changes your whole way of looking at life that is otherwise only built on trying to make things static and secure and repetitive. And even the most beautiful, blissful repetitiveness will bore you to death and will make you sick eventually. So much from this island. Dream island probably for most of you, but I tell you, it's good only for a few weeks, and then you have to have a change. So here I'm back in our reality, in our always the same house, always the same pattern, back to pattern on the other side of the island. And I just want to say a few things that, of course, triggered from what I said before on the beach. The general yes but way how we think we have to take about almost every information. And yes, but he's easy talking, he has all the money. So if I had all the money, I would also travel, I would also change my life, I would live a different life. So that's the first yes but. And I tell you, I had the money before my accident, and I did not travel, I did not lead such a life on the move. And so don't many people who have a lot of money, they don't change, they don't move. They maybe buy a bigger car, they buy a bigger boat, they buy a bigger house. And there is something in all of us that is really trying to avoid change at all costs. And this is something that is part of the matter part, the inertia part of our life. And if we understand this, we don't always justify it, because most people, actually all people, including myself, we are always tending to create more and more reasons in our life why we cannot change. So we buy more things. See, I'm buying a lot of things. Then we, of course, have more debts on our credit card. Then we get more children. Then we do some kind of work that allows us only to work in this place of where we work. So most people, actually all people, including myself, are busy creating instances or reasons for why they have not much options, why they do not have more choice than they could have, because this is our freedom. But we are, or the matter part in us, the inertia part in us, is programmed to create more reasons that we don't have those choices. So it's not about the money. And I tell you, if you understand this and just see, okay, there is something that's waiting for me to change, then you can be open for little moments, because you don't have to do big changes, leave your house, leave your children, leave your job. When you have to start with little things. For example, in all my seminars, after the break, everybody sits at the same place. Why? Why don't look at me or at the room from a different point of view? Or at the beach, when you're at the beach, you put your towel on your chair because you want to make sure you have the same beach chair, or you have a beach chair at all, because otherwise there would be a change and you would have to think about what to do. So when you go next time in the shopping mart or when you go on the internet for shopping, think about if this is not limiting your life, it's not putting more restrictions on your life. And then if you do this, you see there's something inside of you that does not like to have freedom and it wants to have inertia, and that's the matter part. So so much about this. And then also, of course, as I said, very generalizing, as I usually do, to create some reaction about the Indian gurus. Not all Indian gurus live the life of stagnation and of comfort. There were, of course, those real higher level gurus in India, for sure, that lived a life of change. And actually India is one of the best places for learning change and learning a totally different way of life, because everything is about 90-degree different to our Western worldview. So that's why it's a good place for having a reset. And I'm sure that's why I was there 5 years, because it was terrible many times, but also amazing, exotic at other times. So this much about India, and keep this in mind when you have next time a choice to make a little change. Try with little changes in your life, and then bigger opportunities will propose themselves.